Never in my life did I ever think I would be sitting here at my computer playing a video game where I legitimately just stare at a bunch of schoolgirls dancing. It is weird how life turns out. And what I mean by that is exactly what you're seeing right now. I need you to just for a moment here close your eyes and tell me that this doesn't sound incredibly provocative, because I don't know. To me, this like this is a very weird game. I'm gonna go out there and say this is an incredibly weird game. And the weirdest part is that you recruit these girls, you recruit these idols, and then they randomly shift. You like literally, as you can see on stream right now, the characters that you recruit alternate. So you have these different characters. Yeah, I bet you guys are all equally as mesmerized as I am looking at this. So the reason I'm actually recording this on my phone is because it doesn't work on LD Player. It doesn't work on the emulator that I've been using to record like the majority of mobile games that I record. And I know you guys are preoccupied with what you're looking at. I keep losing my train of thought, but we're here today to take a look at Idoly Pride. This is a game that I have been playing probably for a couple hours each day for the last, I think, 4 days now. I have genuinely not been able to stop myself. I know this is a bit embarrassing to say. I'm a 6'1" fully grown man that is sitting here like literally just like, I almost feel like I want to, like, you know, join in and dance with them and everything, but then at the same time I'm recording myself. So anyway, before we jump into this video though, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. You guys allow for me to continue to push out regular videos like this every single day, and I cannot express how much I deeply appreciate your guys' support. Also, if you have a moment, consider following me over on Twitch, where I stream every single weekend, most of the time. Idoly Pride is an idol game. It's not an idol RPG necessarily. You have a group of idols, characters, I don't know their ages. You have a group of characters. They are referred to as idols, and your purpose here is to increase their fan base, their fan following, to increase their levels. They have individual skills. These skills affect them when they're live. We'll go into the combat in just a little bit. As you can see, they have various different abilities. These abilities affect them and affect their team in various different ways. They learn different abilities at different levels, and they all have their own unique story that is associated with them. This can be viewed vertically or horizontally. I'm gonna go ahead and view it vertically here because, I mean, I don't want to flip my phone over. But every character has their own unique story. I actually think that's kind of cool. These are cutscenes that kind of just like play out on their own. I think it adds additional layers to the characters that, like, typically, you know, there's like a cutscene in games. Like, every character has a scene that plays out, but you gotta manually click through it. This scene kind of flows flawlessly and seamlessly in a way that makes it seem as though you're watching an episode of something, like a TV series, a movie, an anime. It's something that I don't really see done in games. Now, there are a lot of characters. Like a lot. I've unlocked quite a number of them. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5-star characters unlocked currently. These, I think 4 of them were obtained as guaranteed 5 stars. I think they were rewards for pre-registration or goals being met or something. I'm not entirely sure. Now, beyond upgrading your idols via levels and with regards to skills, you can fix up your formation. Now, here is where the game gets a little deeper and a little more complex. Your idols have essentially different class archetypes. They excel at different areas. As an example, she has high vocal, lower dance, really high visual, but really bad stamina. She has much lower everything except for stamina. Like, these characters have drastically different stats that benefit your group in different ways. So you need to have a group that is comprised of what the stage requires. Each stage has different requirements to successfully complete. Now, beyond that, you have the option of equipping your characters with different gear. You have accessories that you can equip. You have photos that you can equip. Interestingly, the photos are actually taken from you. So this gear is actually craftable. You can craft the gear that you can equip on your characters, but you can actually enter a photo shoot where you select 5 characters. You proceed to choose a song. Let's see, there's one with all 5. And then you start the song, or you start the shoot rather. Now, this is done horizontally, so you do need to flip your phone sideways. And the characters dance, the characters sing. And then you essentially take pictures that you want. Or you can set it to auto and have it automatically take pictures of various different points in the live event yourself, or itself, rather. After which, you decide which of these you want to successfully print, the quality you want to print, and then you go ahead and obtain them. At some point, there we go. This raises each character's individual trust. And then you can go into your character profile and equip them with a picture that might have a different effect on them. As an example, this one has a much lower vocal, dance, and crit, but it also provides a beat score, a +2 beat score, as opposed to mental. So they all serve different purposes, which is a very fascinating aspect of the game. Now, beyond that, we have probably one of the more fascinating areas to me, and that is the outfit, or not to me, I mean to Mrs. Stix, not to me, but you're talking about. So, your characters possess the ability to change their outfits. Their outfits for when they're at work and their outfits for when they're just like lazing around. Now, each character has their own unique set of outfits, which I think is very cool. These outfits are unlocked in-game. They are made available for you in-game. They're unlocked in-game. They are also, I believe, purchasable via the cash shop. So there is a lot to unlock. There is a lot to utilize, to customize. There is probably one of the most annoying features in every gacha game, and that's the incessant need that these characters have to berate you over not responding to their messages. Like, where am I? Sakura sent me a sticker. Mei says, can I phone you? Suzu, I haven't replied to, so she's like, never mind. Like, God. It's actually one of the most annoying aspects of gacha games these days. They're like, how can we make it seem more realistic to players? Oh, you know what? Let's allow for them to send you a text message. Anyone who thought that was a good idea is an idiot. I mean, the person that did. So, there's also the ability to sync character levels. This makes it actually a lot easier for you to continue through the story because, I mean, if you have a set of 5 characters that excel in certain areas and you need characters with a different set of abilities or different stats, then you're kind of going to be screwed. So having a level sync is actually integral, I think, to me, to progressing through a game at an adequate rate without being forced to level a significant number of different characters beyond your core 5-man group, or in this case, 5-woman group. What I would also like to point out here, while you can reset the levels of your characters, what I'd like to point out is you can see the rarity of the character that is dictated by the number inside the star. So, as you can see, the majority of the characters are 5-star through 4-star. I got the occasional like 3-star down here, and oh my god, a 1-star. I did not know that was possible to obtain. But as you can tell here from Kotaro Nagase, she's actually a 6-star, and more of my 4-star characters are actually 3-star characters than 4-star characters. So what I've learned is that when you get duplicate characters from the gacha, they automatically upgrade your character's rarity. So they get upgraded automatically. If it was a 5-star character and I get a duplicate of Yu Suzumura, then she would automatically be upgraded to a 6-star character. I think that not requiring like several pieces of a character to successfully upgrade them is great. Admittedly, getting the characters has not really been that difficult. Getting duplicates of the characters has not been difficult. Now, as it is an idle game, the longer you allow for the game to continue without you, the more resources you continue to obtain. There is a cash shop present, which is about as filled with quality of life improvements as any other gacha games cash shop has. There are at present a plethora of different events going on. Now, before we touch anything else, let's touch on the actual game. So, like most RPGs, this has a number of chapters and a number of missions. I think right now I am on chapter 10. There are a grand total of 15 chapters from what I can see here. So I'm 2/3 of the way through the game. The story itself consists of essentially your characters singing and dancing on stage. Like that's the long and short of it. That is pretty much it. So you deploy characters here. You make sure they are set up in the right position, they have the correct stats, the correct skills, and then you deploy them. I'm hoping here that this doesn't get like copyright struck. And this is essentially like, this is the core gameplay. This is the combat. These are the battles that your waifus engage in. It's very interesting. Now, you can actually speed this up if you want to by holding the mid. Oh, actually, you can't do that when you don't opt to skip it. Okay, never mind. You can skip this if you want to. I know I'm gonna fail this because I've kind of hit a wall here where. Okay, here we go. You can hold double speed up now. I'm gonna fail this because I have yet to be able to successfully complete this stage. I'm kind of stuck. I'll admit, I am very stuck. And my waifus are all so upset with me. I will point out, they sweat an egregious amount. Like, it is disgusting how much they sweat, but at the same time, kind of hot. I like sweaty girls. So that's essentially the story. Unfortunately, I'm unable to go back and replay old chapters and old missions, but at this juncture, I kind of just need to continue to level my characters, gear them up a little better, maybe level up different characters. I think my issue there was that I lacked stamina as a stat, or characters with enough stamina. Now, what I can show you, though, is me actually succeeding at a stage. Although, unfortunately, the Venus Tower, which is your, like, never-ending tower feature, does feature these characters as chibi models. But this is actually a game mode that I can successfully progress with right now. Now, I understand, I'm at chapter 10 or chapter 11 out of 15 chapters, so it makes sense that I have hit a wall here because I think this is only day 4 or 5 of me playing. If I could finish the entirety of the game in under a week, then it wouldn't really be something that has lasting value, I guess. So, honestly, it requiring additional days worth of time and effort is I think, honestly a good thing. It is. I don't have any qualms with this being a thing. Now, beyond the gameplay loop here, we do have work. Now, this is probably pretty much the only other feature in the game. I mean, it's the only other thing that I think is really worth mentioning. So, to increase your fans, there are a number of different methods with which you can utilize. I gotta go here and claim these real quick. So we have fan events, promotions, and a refresh. Fan events are essentially where you send out your waifus, and then they greet their fans. So I'll send out 3 here. And then their fans will walk up to them. They'll shake their hands. I know this gets kind of grotesque IRL. I know there are instances where people like do things to themselves and then shake the idol's hands. It gets real fucking nasty. Now, there are a number of different things you can do if you remain here and you tackle this manually. You can cheer, which brings in other characters. They have like special abilities that they can use to make this go faster, to increase the rate of point acquisition. But typically, you could just leave this alone. You set it and you forget it. Then we have promotion. So there was a fan greetings and there's promotion. There is performance, there is photos, and then there is, wait, what was that picture? Yeah, I understand why they have acquired fans. So I have public maxed out, but I'll give you an example of what that is. I'll send out 3 characters. As you can tell, they actually have like a stamina bar or an HP bar. Once their HP depletes, you can't really send them out again because they just die. But we'll go ahead and send out these 3 characters. Here they are at the event booth. They're gonna go around, they're gonna hand out flyers to people. They're gonna try and convince them to become long-term fans. Now I'm going to deplete it here. I have enough items where I can speed up the event. As you can see, each person got anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 new fans. So a core part of the game is acquiring additional fans for your characters, for your idols, for your waifus. It is an integral part of their progression. Now, there are a number of different ways you can actually go about doing this. Here's another one. Here is the performance. They're apparently live streaming. She's cutting up some lettuce. This is essentially live streaming. They're live streaming cooking dinner and stuff. Like, so there are a number of different ways with which to acquire fans. And then for your waifus that are dead, like these ones are, you can pay to take them to the cafe where they eat fucking pancakes, like a whole plate of them, and they recover their missing HP, their missing stamina. And then there's the gacha system, which honestly, I mean, it's not horrible. Like, getting a 5-star, it says, is a 3.5% rate. I've acquired a lot of characters. I have. Honestly, I don't think the rates are horrible. I honestly don't think that the gacha is actually bad in this game. I genuinely don't. Now, as you can see, I do have a grand total of 56,948 fans. That's more than I have on this YouTube channel, actually. And this is in a mere 4 days. So I think that's largely in part due to the fact that I have so many waifus. So I guess if I had a lot of different people all as an active part of this channel, I might have a lot more subscribers. I think that's what it's actually trying to tell me. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like Idoly Pride is a very interesting gacha game. I've never played anything like this before. The character models look absolutely fantastic. The gameplay is just something I never expected that I would ever engage in, but I have, and I've actually found it kind of entertaining. As much as I hate to admit it, this game has genuinely shocked me in terms of how addicted I have been to it. But at the same time, I don't feel like it has an overwhelming amount of depth, or I don't think it has any kind of like long-term longevity. I don't think there's enough to this game. I think that this game would be a passable, perfectly acceptable side game where you log in for 10 minutes, you just run through a couple different things, you consume all of your resources, you acquire all of your resources through the training, you level up your characters, and then you log out, and you don't touch it again for the next 24 hours. I feel like as a main game, this is bad. This is not capable of maintaining your interest, your engagement as a main game, as something like Punishing Gray Raven or something like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail or Azure Lane would do. But I think this is a phenomenal side game. Those are my brutal, completely honest thoughts on Idoly Pride. Now, if Idoly Pride isn't your kind of game, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be more interest to you.